Welcome back. You're watching Market Sense right here on ET Now, and we are celebrating 7 years of being in existence right here at ET Now. 81.65, the market is also holding up quite nicely. Let's touch base with one gentleman who has supported ET Now consistently through the course of our 7-year journey. Sanjiv Goenka, Chairman CESE, joins us to talk about his business, to talk about the sector, and to perhaps join us on our special day. Mr. Goenka, thanks very much for taking out the time today. And, once again, extend out our heartfelt thanks for all the support you've given us through the course of the last 7 years.
Well, congratulations on the 7th anniversary. It's a great day, and we wish you all the best.
Well, thanks very much. Let's start off by understanding where the sector is right now and how do you see it moving forward from here. Now, the government has announced measures to turn around the power sector. Do you think that enough and more has been done? Because, all that expectation of a takeoff has not really been met with success, or not as much success as one would expect.
Well, quite honestly, I think if one had to look at what the government has done, it's tremendous amount of work at a very basic and at a thought level that has been done and implemented. The Uday scheme is a great scheme. I think the reformation in the thought, in the whole way the electricity sector or the power sector is viewed is huge. And I think full credit must be given to Piyush Goyal and this government for taking these initiatives. I think you will see a lot of forward movement in this whole sector. We ourselves are very bullish, and you will see us aggressively investing in the sector as we go along.
Right. Where do you see growth coming from in this sector? And, aside of the reforms that you spoke about, and like I said, efforts have been made. How much time do you expect, the on-the-ground changes to reflect those efforts?
These things, after you articulate the policies, the implementation and then on-the-ground implementation of projects takes time. But see, for example, what's happening on solar. A lot has been happening. What's happening on wind. A lot has been happening. So you're seeing a lot of generation capacity being added. You're seeing initiatives on the distribution front being taken. You're seeing initiatives on the transmission front being taken. So I think you will see investments across the sector. In the past, the sector was more generation-led. It will now be a more balanced approach to the growth. And I think the movement forward will be a combination of growth and correction of the past. So I think it's about how do you make the sector healthy? How do you make the discoms healthy? How do you make the consumer a net gainer? I think all these things are happening. Give it another 12 months to be visible in absolute terms.
Okay, let's talk about the Uday scheme as well, and that has been getting a lot of attention of late. What's your view on the same, and do you see it impacting CESE bottom lines?
I think at the end of the day, this is part of this whole process of going green and being more environment friendly, which we have been. We were the first company in Asia to be registered with UNFCCC for carbon credits, etc., etc. There are more initiatives which are being taken. There are more strictures which are being put in place. I think we just have to go ahead with this.
For your company in specific, Mr. Goenka, since you have joined us today, could you give us an update on the Chandrapur project? When do you expect the turnaround to happen?
Right. I think Chandrapur, the first part of there are two very important pieces which have fallen into place. One is the Standing Linkage Committee of the Coal Ministry has met and approved the fuel supply agreement with Coal India. So that was one very important piece. And the second is the Section 62 clearance for supply of power from Chandrapur to the Greater Noida Power Company has actually been received. So one full unit actually gets taken care of on a cost-plus basis. So I think a very significant turnaround in the fortunes of that company will happen. I think there are steps afoot for the second unit, and hopefully in the near future we'll have something positive to report on that.
Okay, tell us about your current capacity levels, and do you have any plans of increasing the same? In addition to that, any capex plans?
We are going to be adding capacity in the renewable sector. Our total capacity today is 2,600 megawatts, and excepting 300 megawatts at Chandrapur, the entire capacity is actually very profitable capacity. I think our plants are efficient, our distribution centers are efficient. We are doing a good job. We got 62 Power Awards last year in recognition of what we've achieved in terms of efficiencies and costs. I think going forward we will invest more. We will invest more in the sector. I think there are plans for investment in the renewables, and we've been implementing little projects, and you will see more of that. You will see more investments in the sector, but I think we will take a few more weeks before we announce our next major step. We're almost there, but I think just give us some more time and we'll be ready to announce.
Okay, great. Of course, there's been a lot of excitement with regards to the renewable energy space, with the government's focus to expanding that sector as well. Mr. Goenka, as always, our pet question, and I know that you may have pretty much a structured reply to it, but I'll still take a go at it. The outlook as well as the guidance that you may offer for FY17 in lieu of all the expansion plans, the capacity additions that are coming on board.
I think our performance continues to be robust. We are enthusiastic about delivering on what we've committed on, and I think going forward you should expect a complete commitment on delivering what we had sort of committed to doing.
Mr. Goenka, thanks very much, sir, for joining us today and being a part of our...
All the best once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Heartfelt. Coming back to the markets, doing good actually. Friday, and we are still holding out in the green, 81.72 for the index. Be mindful of the little blip up that the graph is indicating. It could be an initial sign of a resurgence in intraday trade. I don't want to sound conclusive on this, but generally in the noon session, given the cues coming in from Europe, the markets pretty much take direction from there. And that influences the course of trade for the last 2.5 hours.